Welcome, Formica fans, to the FormiCast podcast. This is me, Durka, your host. Now, before we get started, I wanted to thank everybody for sticking around, following me on Instagram, getting the word out, and growing our awesome community on Discord. Now, this episode is being recorded on Sunday, September 6th at 1:11 p.m. and it will launch on September 14th with the 2 other episodes that I will be releasing. So thanks everybody for waiting patiently and getting excited for this episode. So let's get started. So before this episode is launched, I made an episode about me, about who I am, what I do, and all that stuff. So we're gonna do that really quick again because that episode is going to be deleted. Alright, so who am I? My name is Durka. I am the host of FormiCast podcast. I am part of media team with the Hive Network. I am a big gamer. I love video games. I love history. I love movies. I love nature. I love fishing. And now I am an ant keeper. And I am super excited for this opportunity to bring you a podcast about our favorite creatures, the ants. So why am I doing this? So short story is I was at work. Alright, I work Monday through Friday at a factory. And basically while I'm at work, I wanted to learn more about ant keeping, and the only way I can do that is through an audio version of it because service is so bad on my phone at work that I can't listen to YouTube videos, I can't download them and watch them, I can't do any of that. So I looked up a podcast mainly about ant keeping. What was it about? How do I do it? What do I need? All that stuff. Well, short story is there was one podcast and 3-minute episodes, like 4 episodes about a couple different species, and that's it. And I was like, I need more than that. So I've done podcasts before. I do podcasts mainly on video games, and I've never done something like this. So I thought to myself, why not? So I posted on the Formiculture forum, and I had asked you guys, the community, what you guys would think of me doing a show about ant keeping. And everybody said yes. Like, there wasn't nah. Everybody was like, yes, let's do it. So as I was looking up names, Kale Wizard from Michigan, thank you so much, buddy, for the name idea, FormiCast. Like, ants in a podcast. So sweet, let's do it. So thank you so much, buddy. On the Discord, I gave you a special rank just because of the name idea. You are the wizard on our Discord. Thanks again, buddy, for that. So yeah, how I got into ant keeping. Super short story. Basically playing a game called Grounded. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically a survival game like Ark and Atlas and that type of game like Minecraft. And basically what happens is you get shrunk, is like super small, and you get put, like, basically, remember that movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Yeah, kind of like that, but you're living amongst the bugs and stuff, and there's like ants walking around, and there's like aphids and stuff like that, and you have to like kill bugs for food. And basically I was playing that, and as I was just, hanging out with friends and stuff like that, I look at the ground and be like, there's life down there. Like, this is pretty sweet. So I was watching some videos on YouTube, and I found a video about a manta wasp, which is pretty cool. I'll link that video in the show notes for you guys. Basically, watching this video, I'm like, this is cool. So then I started watching more videos about bugs, and then I wandered into Ants Canada on his YouTube channel and started watching his stuff. Ant Love Forever, Bryce. Basically, I fell in love with ants, and normally, like, for me personally, I really don't like bugs. Like, I've never liked them. I don't know what it was, but now I'm like pumped. Like, I have so much respect for them now. Like, for example, this morning I was waking up, getting ready for church and stuff, and I walked into the bathroom, and I saw this little spider like just chilling on the wall. And normally I'll try to kill it, but this time I just like looked at it. It was just like, huh, cool, you exist, wow. And just marveled at the fact that this bug is just chilling there. So I go back and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get into ant keeping. So that's how it started. That's how I got into ant keeping and why I got into it. Some things that you guys should know: I am not an expert, not at all. Like, I am still learning. I don't have any colonies yet. I have queens. That's all I got right now is queens, and mainly I have one species of a Formica ant. I'm not sure which exact species it is, but it's got young, so I know for sure that. And plus, she's super protective over that pupa. So I'm like, that's like that. And then I have some harvester ants coming in from Tar Heel ants. Shout out to you guys. I am totally interested and curious about the hobby and want to learn more. So that's what this show is about, bringing on people who are experts, people that know what they're talking about, to bring you guys onto the show. So that's what that part comes in. Books, guys. People have told me, why have you got books? Everything you need is on the internet. Well, let's say if I'm somewhere where I don't have internet, right? I found 2 books on Amazon. I do suggest them. Not all of it is necessarily correct, so I'm like still going through it and stuff. But there's 2 ants that I found on Amazon that I found pretty helpful so far. One book is called Ant Farms: An Ultimate Ferrarium Handbook, detailed step-by-step guide on setting up a thriving ant colony, by Angela Hayes. I thought this book was pretty good and really helpful and like really detailed. It's even got like a bunch of pictures in it, and like basically like I thought it was good. There's only one part about gel farms and how that wasn't good for the ants, which I knew that thanks to Mikey from Ants Canada. And then I found another book called Ant Farms: An Ant Farms Guide by Tori Luckhurst, which was alright. I basically just skimmed through it and highlighted a couple things, which I'm going over it again. But yeah, those are 2 books. I recommend them if you guys like books. But other than that, internet's pretty much the place to go. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break here, and we're gonna go over an ad really quick, and then we'll get back into the show. All right, see you guys soon. Hey folks, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed the break. Hope you guys enjoyed the ad. That is Anchor for you. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys about something I was curious about. Now, when you start ant keeping, you're like, you need stuff, right? You always need stuff, especially how to catch the ants, right? You need to catch the queen, but how do you catch the queen and all that other stuff? So I thought about getting a list of items that you guys suggested and I was curious about. So, ant keeping must-haves, quote unquote. These are the top 11 things that I was able to put together thanks to people that posted on the Formiculture and some Discord chats. I asked you guys. So here's 11 things according to you guys that an ant keeper definitely needs. All right. Number 1, test tubes. You definitely need your test tubes. You can use them to especially catch the ant queen that way. That's what I'm using. I'm using a glass test tube to catch them. Or you can get one of those snap cap vials, which I definitely need to get a couple of those too, because I want to keep the test tubes, especially for putting the queens in there. Number 2 is cotton wobs. Definitely need those cotton balls. Don't forget those cotton balls. All right, number 3 is you need water. Spring water, filtered water, water that you would drink, not like tap water, because they need water. Here's things that you don't necessarily need, but it's definitely useful for a sanitary perspective. Q-tips, latex gloves, toothpicks to put the food in there in the test tubes and to get the cotton balls out. Heating pad or heating cable, definitely need one of those, especially to keep them warm. Foil or paper, basically pretty much to wrap up the test tube and make it dark. When I got my latest queen a couple days ago, I basically saw that the guy had put like a black paper around the test tube and taped it so it would be dark inside. I knew that was a thing, but I totally forgot to do that. So thank you so much for reminding me. So I went ahead and I put that on the list. Number 7 on the list is totally Fluon, PTFE, calcium baby powder, all that stuff, especially to stop the ants from trying to get it out of your outworld. Speaking outworld, definitely need a nest, outworld, and all that stuff. Definitely can come later. I wouldn't suggest going and buying all that stuff right away until you know for sure that you are prepared for it. Number 9 on the list is actually a couple things, but I put them all together. You need to have a good mindset doing this. You need a sheer will, determination, and especially you need patience. You need a lot of patience. Number 10 on the list is an aspirator. If you guys could clarify that or you let me know exactly what that's for. That's something I definitely need to look up more about as an aspirator. I think I've seen one on one of the websites, but I'm not really sure what it's used for, so that'd be great if someone could let me know. Collection containers, especially if you're trying to get the queens, or if you're trying to get an actual colony that you found in the wild, that's really useful as well. So each episode we're going to be doing specific tips and tricks and stuff like that for you ant keepers, and basically I'll be asking the community, and so basically be a way for the community to put in their input. Nuptial flights, right now September 6th and 7th, mainly for Labor Day here in the United States, North America, is the nuptial flights for the Labor Day ant, or the Lasius Neoniger. There is a website called antflights.com. Check that out, guys. It's definitely helpful for checking out to see what exact ants are having their nuptial flights. For example, I know right now you can get the Myrmica species in Switzerland. So if anybody's in Switzerland currently, that's what's going on right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of other species on there, but yeah, if anybody is curious, if you have anything going on in your area, check out antflights.com. That's a good resource for knowing what you got. I'll go ahead and I'll put that in the show notes for you guys. So each episode we're going to be going over a species highlight. There's plenty of species to go over, so every episode we're going to go over a species. So first episode we're doing a highlight on the Lasius Neoniger, the Labor Day ant. So basically, what do they look like? So if you're out in the wild and you're looking around and you're trying to identify ants, this is how you identify the Lasius Neoniger. Workers are usually dark brown in color and have pretty large eyes. The Lasius Neoniger can be confused with the other 3 Niger groups, Lasius pallidus, Americanus, and Niger. Americanus do not have erect hairs, and the Lasius pallidus, I think that's how you say it, has a single offset, short, and upturned basal tooth on each mandible. And the Lasius Niger has equally spaced and equally sized basal teeth. Where can you find them? According to to Ant Wiki and Ant Maps. You can find them in Canada and the United States, pretty much all over North America, mainly in the United States and Canada. In the United States, they're definitely abundant in eastern United States, as far west as North Dakota, Iowa, Kansas, and west of the Great Plains is apparently diminishes rapidly. It's rather uncommon to be found in the Southern Rockies, is thus far completely unknown from the Pacific Northwest. It is abundant and widespread in New England, according to Ellison ETL 2012 on AntWiki. So that is something I got from another source. That's not me knowing it personally. All right, so how do you care for a Lasius Neoniger? According to the Formiculture Forum, I have a care sheet here thanks to Crystal's advanced member on the actual forum. Basically going over what they posted. So if you guys want to see that, the link will be in the show notes. Natural habitat is basically under rocks and sand, be found in rotten wood, including timbers of houses and foots of trees and open ground. They're mostly nocturnal or active in the day as well. Their mating flight, they fly around between July to October, depending on the climate and location. The main flights occur in August to September, which has been known to fly on Labor Day in September, earning it the nickname the Labor Day ant. The queen founding method, the queen is fully claustral, which means that when you get them and you put them into their founding stages, you don't have to feed them because they store the fat in their wing muscles, or where their wings used to be. Let's see. So sometimes it can be, sometimes you can get more than one queen in a test tube, but sometimes they will end up killing one. It's best just to keep them, just one of them. Average time from egg to worker, egg to larva is 15 to 18 days. Larva to pupae is 10 to 15 days. Pupae to worker is about 14 to 18 days. The colonies may grow fairly quickly, depending on the workers present and amount of food supplied. From egg to larva, 14 days. Larva to pupae is 12 to 15. Pupae to worker is about 12. They seem to grow very fast in the second year. So keep that in mind, all you guys who are keeping Lasius Neoniger. Recommended 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit to 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. They prefer a moisture nest and preferred foods are mealworms, honey water. Most sugary foods and insects are readily accepted. Hibernation details in the wild, temperatures below freezing are common, even up to 40 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit. In captivity, to be advised to stay above the freezing point, as we are unable to easily duplicate the slowdown to the freezing temperatures. Hibernation is recommended between 30 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius and 50 degrees Fahrenheit to 10 degrees Celsius. Escape barrier methods. Fluon and calcium powder method works the best. Difficulty rating, very easy to keep. Bite and sting rating, they are too small to inflict any pain. That is good to know. Special care, interest notes, they are escape artists, so make sure there's no tiny openings. Notes taken. If you want any extra additional links, you can go to the Ant Web page, and there is an article there as well. Description: workers of the species are usually brown in color, like I said earlier, and relatively large eyes. The scape have several erect hairs, but the external surface of the interphibia is known to have 6 hairs. So yeah, it's a description about that. All right, so that is pretty much the care sheet on that. And then I actually found an article actually talking about it from School Ants. So basically, it's pretty much the same things as we've went over already. The AK, also known as the small black ants, cornfield ants, or just plain old Lasius ants. What do they eat? As I said earlier, but then they said that they're aphid experts. Lasius ants tend aphids like cattle, milking them for honeydew and sometimes killing them for a big aphid steak. That's pretty cool. So as I was going over this article, I'm gonna read to you guys a part of this article, which I thought was pretty interesting. So basically, it's this lady here. Let's see her. Oh yeah, it's from Dr. Eleanor. That's her book on common ants, on School of Ants, species 1175. So basically, she says, before I met my husband, an electrical engineer, the only thing I knew about the engineers was that they would drive trains. Sure, I knew tons of people who said they were engineers of one kind or another, but I found out they weren't wearing cool hats conducting thousands of tons of steel, hurtling at lightning speeds down railroad tracks. My brain would glaze over and I'd lose interest in their profession. You mean you don't have no giant horn to blare at passerby as you cross over city streets along the countryside? As I used to think. Then I met a man who would become my husband, and he talked about his job. I learned that many different kinds of engineers would work to keep our world safe and run smoothly. Civil engineers, for example, prevents tragedy by designing safe roads, buildings, and bridges. Electrical engineers plan the circuitry systems of wires and currents coursing through our cities. Aerospace engineers launch us into the sky and even to outer space. Many more types of engineers tool away behind the scenes, perfecting our lives without our noticing. In nature, some ant species work as engineers, shaping, refining the environment, building connections, repairing bonds. Lasius ants are one group renowned for being superior soil engineers. The little larger than a sesame seed Lasius look like the larger old ants, the movers and shakers of nature. They resemble odorous house ants with slightly larger, fuzzier behinds. But they're generally darkish brown to brownish black in color. While odorous house ants move like troopers marching in line from their favorite foods, Lasius ants move more like my favorite ant, definitely with more of a waddle. Probably a bit because of those fuller fannies. So I guess they got some big butts, some fuzzy butts. So she goes over some more about it. She also says that the three Lasius species, which we talked about earlier, the small black ant, the Lasius niger, cornfield ant, the Lasius Neoniger. She also says there's another species, a Lasius alienus, which no common name for it yet. All Lasius species have one queen per colony, prefer to nest in soil and open areas under logs and stones. Sometimes their nests look like little volcanoes popping up from across the grassy fields. Since one nest can have entrances that look like erupting volcanoes, range spreading across the landscape. So if you guys want to read more on that, I will also link that in the description so you guys can check that out. She goes into some more detail, but I don't want to drag this on for super long. So yeah, that is the Lasius Neoniger ant, and it is amazing. It's a pretty cool ant. I have a couple of them actually. So which we'll go over that in a minute. So, all right, we're gonna end this, and basically we're gonna talk about a couple things. Social media, guys, has been booming. The Instagram for the Discord, or the Instagram for the podcast, has been going like crazy. Like, you guys have been sharing, you guys have been liking, you guys have been following and letting your friends know. It's been amazing. Keep it up. I appreciate everybody. I'm super humbled. Our Discord is now up and it's now live, and it's growing like nuts. Like, it is crazy. And I have an awesome team of admins that are are on board, and they're helping me keep it organized and allowing me to focus on preparing, researching, and doing all this other stuff. So I want to shout out to all of my admins. I have a great team of admins. I have Ant Empire, Ant UK, and I have Bama Ants. Thank all 3 of you guys for stepping up and being a part of the team. YouTube channel, we are going to have that set up launching with the podcast. So what's going to happen is I am going to launch the episodes and I'm going to upload them to YouTube so that for those who want to listen to them on YouTube, that's one way to do it. But I would suggest also downloading and following on any type of podcast place that you have. So that's what we're going to do with that. Next episode, guys, we're going to talk about the spider ant. I'm going to do research on that here shortly and look forward to that. Update on my ants. So I have 8 Lasius Neoniger queens in test tubes. They're pretty much in a pretty good state. They're in a nice little comfy box and they're nice and warm and keeping themselves hydrated. So got them, and then I got 4 Chromatogastro queens. They're also nice and warm inside of a box, nice and hydrated. And then I have 1 queen with 3 pupae. It's some type of Formica species. We're still looking that up. We're still trying to figure out what species it is exactly. But that is the update on my awesome ant collection. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Episode 1. Thanks everybody again, and we will see you for episode 2 on the spider ants. See you guys shortly.